Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, Jey Uso knocked out on WWE Raw.
The Righteous are gone from AEW.
Got some much needed clarity on Alberto Del Rio.
And Chelsea Green signs a new deal with WWE. I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I'm Andy Murray.
And this is the news.
I've done one of these in 3 weeks.
I know, it's been a while.
In this room. It's been a while. Stained have been everywhere. And now it's time to put them out to pasture because we're back and better than ever. Yeah, Eric Bischoff, he's back as well. You see this?
I did see this.
Real
I got really excited for that third man and I went, who the hell's that guy?
Yeah, who's this guy? I'm sure if you're like deep in the weeds with MMA training, you probably know. But anyway,
that's not Vince Russo.
Yeah, I was expecting. I don't know who I was expecting. Jey Uso. I thought it'd be Jey Uso.
Yeah,
he got knocked out after
busy.
Raw. Yeah, he's busy. He's in the hospital. He's TKO'd. I mean, he was out for about 2 seconds, and it's all kayfabe.
Yes,
of course, it's all silly. But yeah, so they shot a big angle after Raw went off the air last night. WWE published it on their socials. They put it on YouTube. You can see this. We have it on the website if you go to whatculture.com/WWE. But yeah, big angle involving Logan Paul. So last night on Raw, they booked Jey Uso versus Seth Rollins for the world title. Rollins was challenging, of course, that was set up by the opening segment in which Paul Heyman kind of talked Jey Uso in. They then did the backstage segment where Paul Heyman was like, I can't believe he fell for that.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to do the title change.
So did I. I love this main event, by the way.
I was sitting there watching it going, oh, cool, they're putting the belt on the belt on Seth the Chef. They didn't end up doing that. The match went to a no contest in the main event. There was interference from Sami Zayn and CM Punk.
Yes!
So we're probably getting another round, some tag team match.
Yes.
Yeah, and then maybe a singles match.
Sammy's going to die again.
Poor Sammy. He doesn't deserve this. He's a good guy.
Yeah. The world title at the end of it, don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm confident.
But the show, of course, ended on that. We then cut to the post-match stuff, and Jay's walking around the ring, slapping hands with a bunch of fans. But one of those fans was not a fan.
Oh.
It was Logan Paul. He was in a hood. He was disguised. He just socked Jay in the face. Jay went down. Logan exited through the crowd, grinning like the Cheshire Cat the whole way.
He's got a metal fist.
He does have a metal fist. How does he do it?
It's not fair.
Robo-twat. That's a bit harsh, isn't it? No, it's not actually. He's done some bad stuff.
Yeah.
Sammy and Punk, they came to Jay's aid, but they didn't give chase or anything like that. They just kind of tended to their friend as he was down. So there you go. That match is this weekend?
I believe so.
Or is it Saturday night's main event?
Well, I saw a card and it wasn't on it, but I would assume it's this weekend.
Yeah. So it's happening at some point in the future. What do you make of Jey Uso versus Logan Paul?
Like, I kind of quite like it in terms of it's not going to be worrying any match of the year lists or anything like that.
I think this might be the worst world title match of the year, and we've already seen Jon Moxley versus Edge. It's
a pure vibes match, isn't it? Everyone hates Logan Paul. Everyone loves Jey Uso. He always has to do his entrance again because people are so into it. I kind of hope it doesn't happen at Backlash now because I would kind of weirdly like to see the trios match of CM Punk, Sami Zayn, and Jey Uso versus Seth Rollins, Bron Breakker, and their new mate Logan Paul.
It's weird.
He's not the fourth member of Evolution, I do hope. But nevertheless, I like this as a build to that match. I really like what they did building to Backlash last night. Like, Gunther's going to murder Pat McAfee. Really, really excited about that. But I really enjoyed, I suppose it's how far you can take someone like Paul Heyman, how much you enjoyed basically the entirety of last night's show, because that was what it was all built around. I really like Paul Heyman. I think this Seth Rollins stable storyline is probably my favourite thing in WWE right now. Hurt Syndicate MJF is probably my favourite thing in wrestling right now, but they're pretty close, to be honest. I'm really into it. And just the way they set it up was great in terms of it not being like, well, I've weaseled my way into it, and for some reason the general manager has acquiesced and given me a title match for Seth tonight. Jay's like, no, you're being all cocky and all that, and saying, Seth, whenever you're ready, we'll take that belt off you. Well, let's have a fight right here, right now.
Let's do it.
And then, like you say, in that main event when he hit I think it was the spear and then the splash, and then Seth kicked out. I was like, cool, new world champion it is then. But CM Punk returned, but it wasn't a great night all in all from Jey. So he retained his title, but he got sparked by Logan Paul.
Punched in the face and left for dead. It was a good angle. Really good series
Should have
of
done the
angles.
whole Moxley thing, like with Bleach, but with Prime. Drink some!
Oh, that would probably hurt more.
Good for your kids, Jay!
Probably do more damage than Bleach, if anything. I think What I've completely lost my train of thought because of bleach and Prime. Don't drink either of those things.
No.
Man. Well, I mean, you can probably drink Prime and be okay, but
Yeah.
definitely don't guzzle any
Clearly,
bleach.
clearly you can drink.
Yeah,
Prime,
yeah.
okay.
Body by energy drink over here.
I like the WrestleMania flavor a few weeks ago.
Oh, I didn't try. No, I tried the one that you had.
Yeah.
But it smelled of puke.
Yeah, it did smell great.
It tasted of just,
Yeah.
how these things taste. They're fine ultimately, but yeah, it really did smell of puke, which is what the reaction Logan Paul has from me a lot of the time.
Repulsed.
I just don't put it in a bottle, and then thought maybe I should do that.
Yeah, you can bottle it and sell it. You can be a millionaire. The hatred that people have for Logan Paul. But yeah, good kayfabe stuff. This.
Yeah, definitely, really effective post-show angle. I thought
It's never going to be the best, is it? Because at the end of the day, the best is Sting disguising himself as Sting to attack someone in the crowd.
Pulling off a Sting mask to reveal.
Surprise!
Yeah, to reveal Sting. Doesn't matter how many times he's done that.
No,
I still.
it's my favourite.
Yeah, every single time. Imagine if it was Kane and he was Kane. That'd be a bit of.
Well, that was the traditional route, wasn't it? You won a world title at WrestleMania, and for your reward, it's Kane straight away. It's a dreadful first title defense.
Oh no, Mr. Kane.
Which one are you going to get though? The corporate one's even worse.
Yeah, the corporate one, the demon one, and the no mask. Embrace the hate.
Yeah.
Remember when he spoke with the thing? You could have that version as well. Yeah.
Rudy Poo Candy ass. It's the only thing I can remember he ever said.
Suck it.
Apart from,
Did that too. So, what about the version of Kane that electrocuted Shane McMahon's Baz?
Favourite version of Kane, that.
Me too, actually.
Funny, isn't it?
In a flaming bin, all that stuff. Good stuff.
All good
Anyway,
stuff.
Kane channel now, apparently.
Yeah. Let's move on and talk about the Righteous. They are gone from AEW. Dutch and Vincent, no longer with AEW. Those with eagle eyes noticed that they've been moved to the alumni section, and PW Insider initially reported it. Brian Alvarez confirmed it. They have been removed and moved to the sort of alumni section of AEW's roster page. Last match was on April 12th, as you saw. They were often on Ring of Honor. That was the tapings where they teamed with the premier athletes to defeat Spanish Announce Project and the Kingdom in an 8-man tag. No word on whether this is a release or a contract expiring, but regardless, they're gone from AEW, and it's no real surprise.
It's not massively surprising based on how they've been used.
Yeah.
Obviously, they were mostly used on Ring of Honor. I quite like the entrance music.
I do too.
Yeah, I don't mind the act, actually. I think they're pretty cool. But yeah, in
Not
terms
one of those cult leaders, though. You're like, why would I follow you? You lose all the time.
yeah, this is the problem. This is the problem with cult leaders when they lose.
Yeah.
So Bray Wyatt had a spell where he just lost all the time as well, and it was like, why would I join you, Chief? Yeah, look, the most prominent thing in AEW was obviously the stuff with MJF when MJF beat them handicapped with one leg. That was. Yep.
The beginning of the end, some might say.
That was something.
Yeah.
That was something. But look, I think they're pretty charismatic guys.
Yeah.
I think they've got their act down. Dutch, in particular, I'm a fan of. I think he's a good big man.
Yeah,
he sticks his tongue out really fast. He's like a chameleon.
I like his look as well.
Yeah, he's a good looking dude. And it's a good wrestling look for sure. And I like Vincent as well. So it's not massively surprising if this is a contract expiry. It's a case of. Said this on the news yesterday when I covered the WWE releases in some detail. There's a big difference between cutting someone off before their deal expires and going, hey, we're at the end of this agreement that we made. We are not going to renew it. Best wishes, all of that stuff. Big difference.
Yeah.
No idea where they'll land. But you'd imagine they'll stick together unless they hate each other somehow. I don't know if they do or don't. But yeah, you'd imagine they'd stick together.
It's an act that do really well on the indies, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it screams TNA to me. Actually,
that's a good point.
They dabble with some of the wackier gimmicks and all that stuff, and they kind of lean into that stuff a lot more than some other promotions. So. Probably be a good tag team pickup for them.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
So hey, best wishes to them. Again, it's not the same as just firing someone. Although if that has happened, we'll correct ourselves tomorrow and we'll talk about it. But yeah, no details as to what happened.
Best luck to the Righteous guy.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't really click my fingers, but dig what I'm saying, man. There you go. Right, let's talk about Alberto Del Rio again.
What's going on here? I saw your news
Bertie.
video yesterday, and I was like, excuse me? Because the headline was, of course, Alberto Del Rio is with WWE now.
So, basically, there was a report yesterday. It was from Ernesto Ocampo, who works for Super Luchas, knows a bunch of stuff, basically. He reported, I think it was 8 names who WWE have signed as part of the AAA acquisition.
Vikingo was part of that?
Vikingo was there. La Parka is a different guy playing the gimmick now.
I was getting excited for you there for a second.
LA Park is still kicking ass. Don't worry about that. There was the handful, Nino Hamburguesa, who is, what a tremendous name.
Oh, look into these people.
Hamburgueso. Sorry, my pronunciations are terrible. Forgive me. I am an idiot who only speaks half a language. And a bunch of other names were on there as well. But the most interesting one from a WWE perspective was Alberto Del Rio. So, obviously, when you say WWE has signed Alberto Del Rio without additional context, that blows up and people are like, oh my God, how can they let this guy back in? Of course, there's the stuff with Paige Saraya, like the messiness of their relationship. He's got a bunch of other controversies as well. The 2021 in particular is quite harrowing.
Not worth risking it on him.
No, a lot of baggage. And look, he was pushed to a level of prominence at some point, but I don't know. I'm not a risk I would take personally. But there was no implication that he was actually going to come back to WWE. It's just he's the AAA mega champion at the moment. So it's like if you acquire AAA, and their entire TV at the moment is geared towards him losing at Triple Mania. He's a heel champion, all of that stuff. So, you know, it was quite complex, but a lot of people assumed that he'd be on Raw, basically.
Yeah.
The next night.
Yeah, it's them basically acquiring the AAA contracts, which means, yes, technically they have signed Alberto Del Rio, but it is more of a business admin side of things than like, tell you who we really need is that guy right there.
Dirty Bertie.
I would not be surprised, if he drops the title and does not appear on Monday night. I would hope not, anyway.
Yeah, he's not going to show up on NXT next week. But yeah, so we got some new details on this situation from Ernesto Ocampo, who originally reported this stuff, basically saying that these WWE contracts, these new contracts, were necessary because AAA's contracts don't cover everything that WWE's do.
Right, okay.
Apparently. The people signed at the moment, so Del Rio, Vikingo, they're not expected to take parts in the United States. Some may appear in crossovers with NXT, but only a few. And you'd imagine Vikingo would be one of them because he's already appeared on WrestleMania. Lucha Blog.
Train him up a little bit, get him to learn how to work in ring, and then boom, out you go.
Show him the ropes. Lucha Blog have an update on this as well, saying, I'll just read the tweet because Lucha Blog is one of the most knowledgeable guys, Cubs fan, when it comes to all this Lucha Libre business. He said, to my knowledge, WWE did not give Alberto a contract. AAA signed Alberto to a contract when they decided to build the promotion around him last year, and WWE will assume that contract when they take over the company. I don't think decisions have been made past that. So the deal hasn't officially closed yet, and a lot can change. It's also been reported that WWE is only going to sign like 12, 11 people in total, and assume freelance the rest of them. But yeah, there you go. You don't need to worry too much about Del. If you saw this story initially and you were like, oh God, why?
That was me.
Yeah, me too, actually. I tried to give it the full breadth on the video, but yeah, it's like, whoa, God. If you were one of those people, you're probably okay. You don't have to watch AAA if you don't want to see him, basically, seems to be the gist of this.
I sense it's going to be a bit like, well, slightly like their working relationship with TNA in terms of them sort of cherry picking. You're really good and we want to use you on these other shows and what have you. Right now, it sounds like they're going to be running, or AAA, or you know, overseeing that sort of thing. And this is a purely an admin thing that they don't want egg on their face of like, why is your champion popping up on this show when it's not been approved by you? It's an admin thing purely. So all the champions and the really high-profile names are the ones that they've locked down to these WWE contracts, and they're like, right, we'll worry about what we're doing with them after we've got this side sorted. Yeah,
and there's some other complications in there as well with the list of signed wrestlers. There's La Hiedra, who, I mean, this is a really difficult subject to broach, but Stephanie Vaquer, I believe at one point had a restraining order against following, her defense of the person who I won't name, who did some really, really nasty, ugly stuff against Stephanie Vaquer. Again, you can read up on that. But yeah, it's a complicated thing for sure. And look, the deal hasn't formally completed, closed. Is that what they say? Closed?
Yeah, I think that sounds about right.
So you might end up in 3 months when it closes going, Del Rio, see you later.
Yeah.
We never know. We'll find out.
We'll keep you posted. Finally, let's talk about Chelsea Green. A sort of mixed bag for her recently. She has dropped the US title to Zelina Vega. Personally, I was talking to Sige about this on the SmackDown preview last week, available wherever you get your podcast from. I hope this frees her up to potentially become world champion at some point. She'd be a phenomenal Money in the Bank holder, Sige suggested.
She'd be great at that.
And that seems a lot more likely after the Fightful Select confirmed reports of a re-signing of a WWE contract for Chelsea Green. She signed back with WWE in late 2022, so you can kind of infer from this, because they talk a little bit later about the fact her deal was set to run out later on this year, that she probably signed a 3-year deal in 2022. She returned, obviously, at the 2023 Royal Rumble. She's been a tag team champion, a United States champion, but she has now signed a new multi-year deal. The exact length is not yet known. But yeah, like I say, I hope this is a sign of investment in Chelsea Green going forward, because you know, she's had aside from losing the US title, she's had a phenomenal start to 2025, a bit like Chesterfield, who just sneaked in the playoffs in the final League 2 season. Had to get that in.
Yeah, well, we just made a cup final, so
yes,
good football. Good. I'm going as well, which is great.
What a year for the office!
I know, tremendous stuff across the board.
Unless you're a Sunderland fan.
Oh, well, they're in the playoffs too.
Yeah, they've lost 5 on the bounce going into it.
Yeah, which is great for them. Shout out to Michael Hamflett and James Heppel. Poor guys. Chelsea Green.
Sorry, yes, Chelsea Green.
She was one of like 20 people who in WWE. There was like a spate of these tweets over the past couple of weeks of wrestlers who were like posting things that could be interpreted as goodbye.
Yeah.
Like, so with Chelsea, it was after she lost the US title, she tweeted like, bye for now, or something like that.
Sunset, wasn't it, or something?
Always seemed like the most likely of those to be a work, right? Because she lost a title and she's been on TV. She's on TV all the time.
She was wearing black on SmackDown, like a death had happened.
It's very funny. But there was a bunch of other ones, like Austin Theory posted someone. A bunch of other people were like, oh, it's been a great journey. And then the releases happened, and most of them were not amongst them, fortunately. So yeah, I was like, what's going on with Chelsea Green? But then she resigns. Look, she's on TV every week. She gets like 10, 15 minutes of TV time every SmackDown. They love her. They put her on TV all the time. She always makes the most of those minutes. She had a fun, stupid US title reign.
Yeah.
I think she'd be a really good Money in the Bank winner. I like the Secret Hervis. Or Special Hervis. I always get it.
Secret Hervis sounds right.
Yeah, there we go. I like all this nonsense. It's a good brand of silliness. She's really great, and yes, good.
She's a babyface in waiting, isn't she? Let's be honest. She does all this shtick, but people just love her so much. They kind of let it slide, all the shenanigans, and like you say, getting Alba Fire and Piper Niven to get involved in her matches. I really, really, like the pitch of her winning Money in the Bank. Right now, if you put a gun to my head and said, who wins Money in the Bank, I'd say, for once, not Sami Zayn. Bron Breakker and Chelsea Green.
Nice.
I think they'd be very different Money in the Bank holders. But yeah, it arguably would be a way to make her a babyface as well, because whenever you cash in, it gets a huge pop regardless of who you are. You can be the most despised person in the world, and it's like, oh my god, a cash in!
People just like moments, don't they?
Yeah.
They like being there for the moment. It's not about the face and the heel, which is, I mean, in my opinion, quite bad, but also good for Chelsea Green. She's really over.
I've got the memory of a sieve, so I'll take mine, because I can't remember anything.
I mean, to be fair, so do I. I can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning. It was nothing, actually. So there you go.
You eat breakfast today.
There you go.
Good start to the day. 3 Weetabix.
Get your
Treat
fuel.
yourself.
Get some sleep.
Big boy, 3 Weetabix over here. Look at me flexing on everybody.
You can't do that. That's like...
We got
dropping a swear.
We got so close to the end of our first one back.
Gee whiz.
Sorry, Ryan. Anyway.
Sorry, Ryan.
Let us know your thoughts on Chelsea.
It's always that as well. It's always an effing. It just slips out. Yeah.
Let us know your thoughts on Chelsea Green and everything we discussed in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe. While you're at it, why not watch this video? What is it, Andy?
The algorithm will decide.
Ooh, give it a click.
Best for viewer, apparently. So if you don't like it, tell the robot.
Yeah.
Don't tell me.
Bye.
Bye.